Welcome back to another Epidose of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. Today, Justin and Amanda Leah and I are going to take on the topic of what is the perfect body type. Justin, you got any 2 cents to throw in before I jump into the photos?
The perfect body type is was it John Bastow? That's the perfect body type. And the reason why I say that is because I think my mom had his workout videos and he had one like 6-pack abs or something like that. But like he looked like he walked right out of a movie set in like the late 90s. Yeah. And I think his videos are still on YouTube. But it's funny because I had his cassette, like his VHS that I would work out with when I was like, I don't know, I must have been like 16 or something. Yeah, pretty funny. But yeah, so I think the perfect, and I always thought his physique was wicked awesome actually, because he's not too big, but he's not too thin either. Like he's muscular and shredded, but he's not like huge either. And then of course, you got Fabio, Arnold Schwarzenegger, China, the wrestler for the ladies. I don't know.
Poor
That's
China.
what I think of.
I think China passed away.
She did pass away, sadly.
That's too bad, but well, we
when
like
did China pass away? Sorry.
I think a few years ago. I think she might have had a substance abuse problem. So
comment in the comments if you were a fan of wrestling. I think it was the best best era of wrestling, that like late 90s to mid 2000s period. It's like the best. Either that or just because I was a teenager and so I was all into it at that time.
Anyway. Yeah, maybe people want to leave us comments about who they think has the greatest body type or physique or whatever in the comments. So we like to elevate the conversation, so we're going to cover a lot of body types today. We're going to try and blow some myths here. Namely, what should people look like? Why don't people all look the same? And I'll even see if I can find a picture of this John Bastow guy. I'm not sure who he is. So
be great.
But for right now, can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those good bodies.
There's a hunk of a man.
That's Dr. Monkey Arms himself, Dr. Sean Baker. Yeah, not exactly your everyday individual, right? I mean, he's like 6'4", and he's been a competitive athlete his whole life. Played rugby, rowing champ, indoor rowing champ, drug-free weightlifting champ. Was a soldier, and on and on and on. So he's done a lot, and I'm sure as much as most of us guys wish we were built like that, he's a bit of an unusual animal. So our next picture here, quite the contrast. This is a 7-year-old weightlifting champion, right? Still pretty much looks like a normal kid, although I'm shocked she has that many tattoos at 7. Maybe they're temporary. So anyways, you could do it you could be a weightlifter at any age, and you don't have to look like a freak. So
how many pounds is that? Are you able to tell?
Well, I'm sure though. I think she's from Northern Europe, and I'm sure those are 5 kilos on the outside. So that's like
20 pounds.
20, and then she's got some little weights on the end there. So, and I don't know what that bar weighs, because that's probably not a full-size bar. A regular bar is like 45 pounds. So that's probably like a 25-pound bar. So she's probably lifting 50-ish.
Damn.
50, 60 pounds at 7.
And is that a deadlift you think she's doing there?
Yeah, she's doing a classic deadlift with the regular stance too. She's not doing a sumo stance with a reverse grip or anything. She's doing the classics there. So, yep, pretty cool. If we'd all started at that age, right? Of course, when I was a kid, they told me weightlifting stunted your growth, So, and you'd be all muscle bound. You wouldn't be able to
How old
move.
is she?
7. Whoa.
Wow.
Jumps ahead.
At her age, I was lifting bags of Chips Ahoy and Oreos.
All right. And this is Ernestine Shepherd. She is the oldest competitive weightlifter at 80.
Damn.
So I'm a fan of weightlifting. I think it's the secret to living a long, healthy life. But
Now,
anyways.
is it that she's still competing? Like, to compete, there is no age limit? Or is it just by weight? Or would they put you in like a class or whatever? Like, if you know enough, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I'd imagine once you get to a certain age that they kind of lump people together, because there's probably not enough competitors, right, to
Right.
break everybody down by weight class. But it just goes to show, if you're lifting weights at 7, there's no reason not to be lifting them at 80.
And
right?
she's absolutely vegan. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Just
sure
kidding.
she's not.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. But anyways, look, the lady's a weightlifter and she has a nice normal body type, but a lot different from a 7-year-old, and still perhaps not exactly an Instagram model, right?
Right. And she's killing it with the cesarean scar. Mad props.
So anyways, when you see a face like this, what do you think? Would you say that's the face of a world-class athlete?
No, I don't think so.
Amanda, you want to turn your mic on? What do you say?
Could be, right? I mean, I guess it wouldn't be the first thing I'd think, but he's got a thick neck. I mean, it depends
He does have a thick neck.
his sport is.
Perhaps
You heard it here, gents. Women are all about the thick neck.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying to assess whether or not he's an athlete.
Right.
I mean.
Unfortunately, we get a lot of that in social media. They see a picture of somebody's face and then they know everything about them. Justin knows what I'm talking about. Some of the comments we've heard about people, and you're like, wow, you obviously don't know anything about that person. And then, well, you may not be surprised that that body goes with that neck, but you might be surprised to know that this is one of the strongest people in the world. And he doesn't always look exactly like that, because some of the time he looks like that.
Oh, wow.
There's always a thick neck, though. You got to.
Yeah, and he's a giant human being. He's, I forget how tall he is, but he usually weighs in about 400 pounds.
Wow.
So, there's an average size female next to him to give you some idea of the scale.
Wow.
You sure that's an average sized female?
Well, she's rather fit.
Very
She's
fit,
very
yeah.
lean and rather fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might be a little taller than average, but to give you some idea of the scale, I just want to make the point that despite a lot of the criticisms that we see of people, including people we know, it kind of hurts when it's somebody that you really admire, and then you see some less than considerate person online making comments about them when they don't know anything about them. So here's another one for you. If you saw this guy, would you think he was a world-class athlete?
He looks like the unwelcome neighbors in the neighborhood.
By the way, I should have mentioned, I'm sorry, this is Brian Shaw. I should have mentioned that. Brian Shaw is a well-known strongman. I don't think they had the strongman competitions the last couple of years because of the COVID, but he'd been a winner in the past, and I think the last time Martin Likas won and beat him. But there's a number of these guys that are amazing athletes, but you may not know it by looking at their face, like this guy. And this guy,
oh no, look how sunken in his eyes are. It's horrid.
This guy is a hell of a nice guy too.
A really great guy.
Yeah. And, if you just saw a face shot like that, you may not realize that he's a world-class athlete. In fact, he's one of the greatest ultra marathoners in the world, right? And a stark contrast in physique from a Brian Shaw. This is Zach Bitter. And so, I thought they were nice contrasting points, especially Zach and Brian Shaw are probably about the same age. So, and here's a picture of Brian Shaw actually pulling a ship. So, just to put things into scale. And they actually needed people to do stuff like this back in the day.
That was Tom's job. That's how he got his deer and his elk.
Yeah, I was a union ship puller, right? So, anyways, and this, you guys know who this is?
I don't think I do not.
That's Maria Hamrick.
That's Maureen Hamrick. And again, Maureen Hamrick, marathon runner, right? She's built like a marathon runner. But if you saw her and you're like, you heard that she was just, a personality that was pushing some sort of diet book, you might look at her and go, well, she doesn't look ideal, right? But for a marathon runner, she looks great. She looks like a marathon runner, right? So,
well, yeah, I mean, because you want to be as lean as possible, wind resistance and weight. And when you're running that much, it comes in like ounces, grams. You're not even talking about pounds at that point.
Sure.
And I know a little bit about that just because I ran cross country and track back in my high school days.
Back in your glory days?
Back in my glory days. Yeah. Was nowhere near to like a top level athlete or anything. Probably because my diet was crap. It's kind of lazy. And when I passed the girls, I would kind of slow down so the girls would pass me. And then it's a free show on the road. That's my
what high school boys do.
Right.
So what do you think, Amanda, when you see some of the rude comments people get online?
Honestly, this might not be good for our audience, but I don't read comments. I don't give a flying F what they say. I don't look, but it could be because I'm not that's not my focus when creating content. So I respect that other people do, and I respect that people leave comments. When it comes to body image, I think it's a very personal journey we all need to go through. And people who say negative things are just reflecting. They're just dealing with their own crap usually. So that's all there is to it. To me, the best body is a healthy and functional body. And I think we ourselves can only tell ourselves if that's if we're doing a good job. I mean, doctors can have some insight, but generally we generally know when we're functional and when we're healthy. And that's the body I think we should all be striving for. Certainly strong and able to perform is a very good tell of that. So whatever strength looks like for you, and that's different for everybody.
So if you're having a conversation with somebody and they were really focused on, let's say, losing weight, how would you steer the conversation?
To being healthy. Again, I think it is significant to focus on, I wouldn't say it's not significant to look at someone's weight, but again, I think that getting your mind frame in the right place is always going to be the first place you want to start with anything that you're taking on. And then, after that, you would want to look at your nutrition and getting it on track. And a lot of times getting healthy does not mean losing weight. So the first thing, again, I would just bring attention back to all the amazing benefits of getting on track health-wise in a mental space and in a nutritional space, where then you can focus on specific goals, right? Because sure, if you want to lose weight, that's a great goal, but do it after getting healthy. And often it's a byproduct of getting healthy, which is great. Same with toning, same with all of the specific goals about how you want like flat abs or whatever. And I treat myself the same. So, but also I think that, I don't know. I don't think it's all about body image. Body shape. I don't think that should be the focus of people in general, but we are in the times we're in, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. I like to remind people that a lot of people came to Carnivore very sick before we got here. And that includes people with actual eating disorders, you know, there's no shortage of people that are overeaters. There are people that are bulimic or anorexic, and then a whole class of people who could not absorb nutrition, you know. So, you know, some people are trying to gain weight. They're trying to gain fat and muscle, you know, they're just trying to absorb nutrients. And some people are just trying to reduce body fat, but most people are dealing with other health consequences, right? Other diseases or maladies or conditions, right? Hey, Ray, good to see you,
Hey,
buddy.
Tom.
Speaking
Amanda
of
Leah, haven't seen
diseases,
you in a while. How are you doing?
Hi, it has
Good to
been a
see you
while. How
again.
you doing, Raymond?
Yes, very well. How you doing, Justin?
doing pretty good, pretty good. Not too bad, not too bad.
I was hoping you guys didn't start yet, but looks like you did. So good.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we're glad you jumped in.
Yes, I have Emily Harvo about to come in too. You guys know her?
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I just know her from listening to her in the meeting a little bit. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I told her to come on. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for coming to that meeting.
yeah, it was a great meeting. Even if Bella didn't read my question.
That was quite a funny question there, Tom. I read it.
Well, I couldn't
What was
stop
the
by and
question?
I was asking Ray what his favorite
Coffee.
fasting coffee was.
Fasting coffee.
Okay.
So anyways,
Because
There
you've been
she
doing
is.
dry fasting, right, Raymond?
I was, but right now I am on my feasting period. So I will be doing that for 6 months. So in December 26th, I'll end that period and I'll start going to the fasting and start dry fasting again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily.
Hi. Hello, hello. I finally saw you, Justin. I never saw you before
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forget.
I
Oh,
know.
my camera was busted.
because your camera was all
first-
goofy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Had the clockwork elves were messing with the equipment.
Yeah.
yeah, well, welcome to Meet Mosaic, Emily. I'm Tom.
Thank you. I saw you on our fasting meeting.
Yeah, I was in the meeting, but I don't think we ever actually got introduced before. So it's nice
no,
to
I
have
don't
you
think
here.
so. Thank you.
So,
Yes.
today we
And-
were just discussing body types. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh, I was going to say Amanda Leah. So we used to work very closely at MeatRx back then. So
Oh,
it's
awesome.
great to see her here. Yes.
Great to meet you, Emily.
You too.
I just did my first 48-hour fast, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. And what'd you think?
Yeah, and I just tried electrolytes for my first time, but not together, which is interesting. I loved it. As always, I like fasting. It works well. But again, I did it naturally. I had in mind, I was doing a course, so I had in mind that it would be great to fast all day, but I brought food with me just in case because other people would have food. And I did end up having my coffee, my butter coffee in the morning that I generally have, and I had a cup of bone broth later in the day. And then when I got home, I just didn't want to eat. So I actually so it was a bone broth fast with a
Oh,
coffee
still
and-
beautiful.
Yeah, and it was
Mhm.
really great. It felt really good. And at 48 hours, I didn't even really want to eat, but I happened to have food that would have gone bad if I didn't get to it. And I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
just go with it. Yeah, but it was good.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great to hear.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, Amanda Leah, about your fibro. How's that been? How's that?
Thanks.
Has it gotten a lot better?
So, I mean, it's still, thank God, very manageable with this way of eating. It's not gone completely. For example, when I was doing this course, because I didn't end up sleeping either, unfortunately. I didn't eat and I didn't sleep, and that knocked me out completely. And it was just a completely different kind of day with a lot of physical things that I don't usually deal with. So I would say it was the lack of sleep in particular, because I wasn't able to regenerate overnight.
Right.
And the next day I had a major flare up while I was completing the course, but I still went through it, made it through the entire day, and the next day functioned normally, and I'm better. It's a few days later. Normally that sort of thing would have knocked me out for weeks or months. So
That's
it's
amazing.
pretty huge. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
managed to fast through it. So
Well, that's what I
mentally,
mean.
in a
I
really
thought
good
you couldn't
place.
fast back then because of that,
Yeah.
right?
And I
Yeah.
also did two tests, like physical and written tests during the day and everything. So it was, even though I was in a physically, I was in the middle of a flare up, it was a very different way of managing.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Power carnivore. Yeah, this is great.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, since it's the first time on for Emily, you want to kind of introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself since you're here.
Sure. I I met Raymond, I don't know, maybe saw him on IG or something, because I started carnivore this year in January. And I've been a faster for a long time, about 4 years. I've been using intermittent fasting, read Dr. Fung's books and Jen Stevens, and just fell in love with the fasting lifestyle. And it's been such an anchor for me. I've dropped, about 150 pounds at this point. And so it's been a physical transformation. Thank you. And so I was a little bit, I became carnivore curious, I would say, just only last year, I would say probably in 2020. And I did kind of notice there's a little bit of a taboo about the F word.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that real quick, because there are some groups that they're very focused on being as simple as possible. And, I'm always trying to be respectful of the culture of the group. You see, certain people, they just want to be as simple as possible because they don't want new people coming in and trying too many different things. So they set some hard limits on that stuff. So, but it's a free world for the most part. People can migrate out into other groups but we've all seen that with new people, right? They're like, oh, I'm gonna start carnivore tonight, and I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow, and then I'm gonna start fasting, and then a week into it, they're a basket case. It's too much, right?
Too much.
Yeah.
And I agree with that wholeheartedly, because I have been a little fly on the wall in Bella's group meetings and all of those Zooms and everything. And when we get a guest speaker that's really this way of things or that way of things. And, this last year, it's been these macro wars. Has it always been the macro, the protein versus the fat? Like,
It's
like,
And you got to have your honey. Don't you?
Now that's the big thing, right?
Well, at least you got to brush your teeth with it, right?
Oh, dude, that was unreal. I don't even. I was speechless, y'all, when that dropped.
Emily was floored when I told her.
It was jaw drop.
Somebody's got to do the experiments.
Exactly, right?
Me and Ray love.
He won't touch a bar of soap, but he will touch
I'll touch honey.
honey.
All over.
Do you ever find ants on your toothbrush?
Actually, that is strange, but I have not. Yeah, you're right. I should have, but no, I have not.
Do ants go after honey? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I was
Have I
actually
had an
thinking
issue?
that. It's so funny you say that, Justin. I was wondering that. Do ants go after honey?
I mean, I know the store-bought high fructose honey. Like I know
They do that. Yeah.
they do that, but I don't know if I've ever had a thing of
Well, it
like
looks like we have another
organic
experiment to perform.
Manuka honey.
How
Right.
long could his toothbrush stay out until we get the ants on it?
Yeah, maybe they just don't make it up to the 4th floor of his mansion. I don't know.
Thank you.
So, anyways, so you happened upon Raymond, kind of got involved with the steak and butter gang.
I think I found Raymond first, though, somehow. I don't really know. I don't know how these things work. What do you do?
Right.
Here's how it works for me. If I'm on Instagram and then I see people in the comments, and then I think follow them in the comments or something. So it must have been something like that, because for some reason I end up listening to his story. I don't know who it was with, Carnivore Cast maybe. And so much of his story was about fasting. So that was like a big moment for me to be like, oh, there's someone that openly is promoting fasting with carnivore, because I was just like feeling a little shy about, fessing up about that. So yeah, that was a fantastic welcoming for me to realize that, yeah, there's these little micro communities within the meat community of, who enjoys that and who enjoys that. And it's like, oh, good, there's fasters within this community because, okay, you know what it's like when you're a carnivore, nobody can understand it unless they've done it.
Right.
You can talk about it, you can describe it, you can try to explain it, but and it's just this experience that even when someone, if you kind of dig a little deeper and find out, oh, then it comes out they're ketovore. Oh, well, I'm really keto / carnivore. It's just you're like, oh, you don't know then. You just don't understand.
You don't
There's such
get
a
it,
huge
man.
difference on that 100%.
You don't know what vibe
Yeah.
on, man.
Right.
I was
Don't get it.
I was just explaining to my doctor because I told him what I was doing when I talked to him a couple of years ago, and he's like, so it's not like keto, right? What's it called? I'm like, it's carnivore. I just eat meat. He's like, so after a while, I go, so no leafy greens or anything?
I always
Just
hear
like,
that all the time.
I'm like, no vegetables, no fruits, no grains, no tubers, nothing. He's like, you can hear him like typing away. So
click,
yeah,
click.
it's hard for people to wrap their head around that. Not only that you're doing it, but thousands and thousands of other people are doing it.
Thousands and thousands. Do you promise me? Are there thousands and thousands?
There's tens of thousands. If
Tens
not,
of thousands.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Someone
If not
said
hundreds of thousands.
Well, no,
Hundreds
all
of
over. Wait.
thousands.
All over the world.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Which is out of 7 billion. Out of 7 billion is not much. Okay, we truly are unicorns. Okay, we're rare.
But I felt the
Right.
same as you did, Emily, when I first came to it. And I am actually, I like to consider myself a bit of a ketovore. So that already throws me apart from the carnivore community, which
Kick her from the Zoom. Do it now. Kick her out. Bam.
Off the island. You're off. We're voting you off.
yeah, I mean, honestly, though, I always go back to like currently, right at the moment, I'm carnivore. Again, it depends. If you talk about animal based, I go with FAB. Like that's why I call myself fiber free FAB, because that's where my winning point is. And FAB stands for fasting and animal based. So for me, I'm very, very, that's been my focus from the beginning. But finding my place inside my tribe or community, knowing that there was, judgment at first around fasting, and I had to kind of carefully see who was in the same place, which I found Raymond was very quickly, and then also the same thing with the idea of like, when is it time to reintroduce? Because for some people, not all, and for me, it's been a journey. So right now, I'm actually only animal based. That's what I would say. I don't know what is carnivore for you guys? Since there was that little comment, I'd love to hear. Is it only meat, as in only steak? Are we talking only beef? Are we talking?
Or we're talking eggs. We're talking about. You're right. What is it? Right.
Let me throw in one side question with that, since I've never asked Emily or Amanda this, but where are you with the protein versus fat, and what's your favorite cuts and stuff like that? So tell us that too.
I love the fat. I'm all about the fat. And I experimented a little bit with Emmerich, the protein sparing. I had some friends that really wanted that, and they weren't really willing to go carnivore. And it's like, well, we could try this. And the fasting was a little too hard on them. It's like, we could try it, I guess. And so I dipped my toes in that water, and oh, you guys, there's a podcast out there of me where I talk about egg whites and all this crap that I make out of egg whites. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. Why did I have to record right when I was in my egg white phase? That stuff's disgusting. I have cartons of egg whites in my meat fridge that I have to figure out what the hell am I going to do with that? It's just like, it's so disgusting.
You can use it instead of hairspray. You can stick your hair in place with it.
Use some. Yeah, I gotta find something.
But your favorite cut, Emily? What is it?
That's ribeye.
Yeah,
My favorite cut is ribeye.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's funny. I rarely have ribeye, and I have one tonight. I'm gonna have. but it's not my favorite. But everybody
Really?
loves ribeye. I think it's
Mhm.
just maybe access. I don't know, but my favorite is chuck. Maybe because I have to
Wow.
buy carnivore, and I mean kosher rather, and it's super
Oh, right.
expensive.
Right.
So the
Right.
cheapest is the most attractive to me, and it's cheap and it's super fatty. So I
You're
love
right.
it. And you know what? It's funny because I was just talking about this in our women's meeting at Rivera today, and there was this question about fat. And when I first started, for a good year and a half, I wasn't feeling the fat. I would like cut like the fat, the marbling inside the steak I was down for, but as soon as I get to a thick part on the
thick
edge,
outside,
I'd be like,
yeah.
I'm good. I don't need that. Whereas now it's like, no, I can't wait for that, right? So it grew over the years, my interest in fat. And the same with when I have like a lean piece of meat, I have to add my fat trimmings and like literally do a 1-to-1 ratio with every bite of lean meat. I do a bite of fat trimming because I'm just, yeah, I need that. So, and bone broth. I've been bone broth since day one, and that's why I keep leaving. I'm making bone broth now. So like, we're just separating it and the dog food for the dog. But yeah, bone broth is a great fat. I love it.
So chuck
Nice.
roast, yeah, I
Mhm.
like that. I like
Chuck
that
steak.
pick because chuck
Although
steak,
roast is
yeah.
good too. Mhm.
Okay, steak, yeah. And how do you make that? You actually fry it like a steak?
Yeah, I make that's my favorite on a cast iron.
Yeah, cast iron. That's what I cook mine on too. So awesome.
I
Wow.
love the chuck cut, but my kids are in ortho right now. I've got 3 kids in orthodontics. And my girl that is the most carnivore and loves steak the most, she's in the worst orthodontics. And so your teeth hurt.
Oh, I know. That's rough on the teeth
Put
without
it in the
ortho.
The
Instant Pot.
blender.
No, in the instant, no, gross. The
Come on, a
blender.
real mom would chew it
No.
for her.
No, but my mom has
Yeah,
to
mom
do
will
it.
chew it
I
for
would.
her.
It's hard though. That's so gross. God, you guys are really creative. Seriously, no, but my mom has a hard time with chewing, and I put everything in the Instant Pot for her, and it's mouth
Oh,
watering.
melts in the mouth. Okay,
Melt.
right. Of
So
course.
it doesn't matter what cut you put in an Instant Pot, you'll have.
You've
It'll
done
be-
chuck in your Instant Pot?
Yeah, I mean anything. Yeah, I do the hard ones. I do like shank and really like things that really need to be broken down.
Right.
And the Instant Pot's great for that. Soft.
Yes,
Every time my
shank.
mom's like, oh my God, I can eat it. I can chew it. No problem.
Shank tastes great, but it's a lot of work sometimes.
Yeah, it is. No kidding, right? But yeah, that makes sense. Instapot, smart.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
You use that too, Justin. Do you cook with the Instant Pot quite a bit?
Yeah, I'll do more like some pork ribs, which I did tonight. I was throwing my chicken in there. No, I got sick. No, wait. Messed up chicken in a pan, switched to Instapot, got sick from the chicken previously. Did a 56-hour fast. So
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
like
I was
that.
sick.
You were sick. Yeah, you just didn't want to eat. Yeah.
You were sick.
He was too
The
busy.
illness induced fast.
Yeah, he was too
56
busy purging
hours?
salmonella.
Yeah.
Why?
I got-
So wait, you made your chicken in the Instant Pot? Can I ask how, or is it too much to talk about? Bring up some-
No. So the
drama.
chicken that made me sick wasn't
Might as well tell the
Instapot
story.
chicken.
Okay. I always
Yeah.
make my chicken in the because I like it crispy, so I always make it in the cast iron, also in the oven though.
He did
Yeah.
realize it was raw when he got to the middle. That
I
was kind of
did.
the problem.
That's
You
a
can't
yummy
handle
one.
raw chicken yet? Okay. I got
Apparently
you.
not.
I thought you were
Well,
a true carnivore.
Early when it's
half
been
cooked raw
simmering in
chicken.
bacteria for a few hours, it's not so good.
Like a day and a half. Yeah.
You're not to vote him off the island. If you can't eat his
I
chicken
know.
raw,
Can't eat just
I don't
chicken raw.
know.
What's up with
Off
that?
I'll tell you
go.
that.
Yeah, so got horribly sick last weekend, which is why I wasn't here. Yeah, it was horrid. I had my own carnivore nightmare Halloween special.
There you
Oh.
go. That was in Halloween too. Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow. After
Nobody
you
to
had all
hold your
that
hair
nice
back.
wig.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So Justin, you might as well throw it in. I think Ray pretty much let us know he's in the ribeye camp. Emily's in the ribeye camp. Amanda's in the chuck camp, which I respect because I eat way more chuck than I do ribeye. But Justin, what are you? Are you lean meat guy or a fatty meat guy when particularly when you're eating beef?
Yeah, so New York's my favorite cut. We're with JC.
Ah,
New
you're with
York.
JC on that. That's it.
Yeah,
Yes,
New York is the best cut.
All right.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
that
do
yours,
better.
Tom?
Number
I do-
2 for me.
Number 2. Yeah.
Mhm.
I do a lot of New York strips and Chuck's probably second, or sirloin. In fact, I just cooked like 5 pounds of sirloin tip steak today. So but I did an experiment. I bought 3 ribeye roasts in a row. I bought a prime, then I bought a how's it go? Prime, choice, and then what's the one after that?
Select.
Select. So I did that, ate 3 of them in a row like that to see if I could tell any difference. And then I couldn't really tell any difference. And then I was switched to New York's and sirloin, and I did a lot better. So, but I think I have a really high protein demand because I do a lot of lifting. I got a lot of muscle tissue to maintain. And so I think that's kind of why it's important for people to figure out which cuts they do best on. And clearly towards the beginning, it seems to be the fattier cuts that, and I wonder if it's that people just didn't have good animal fat in their diet and their body's making up for it in the beginning. But then as they adjust, and I know Dr. Siwas has said this before, it seems very clear that people's bodies get more efficient the longer they're on a good diet. So perhaps it's related to activity or muscle mass or whatever, and the adjustments the body goes through with time. But I tell people, mix it up every once in a while and see if you do better on one cut than another. You don't have to eat ribeyes to keep your carnivore card.
Right, that's right.
So,
We do the markdowns. We do whatever the loss lead is, and we've got a couple of freezers. So I do have a steak freezer right now, and so it's layered according to when I grab the sales when, and so there's some strategy with that, because usually I'm making at least 5 steaks, usually more. So it's been
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I shop sales a lot too. I know, like where Justin lives, they don't really have competing supermarkets like he was used to here in SoCal, so it's a little harder to get the good deals. So
At this point for me, when I get the leaner cuts, which for me the leaner cuts would be like the sirloin or the New York, I just have to eat so much butter with it. So I smear butter all over it and dip it in butter and swish it in butter. And so my body almost demands that same thing you're talking about, Amanda, with that 1-to-1 kind of thing. So just adjust up with butter. That works really well for me so far.
Yeah, me too. I use the bone broth and I use butter coffee. Like those are my constant dailies. I don't know that I think it is that I need more fat probably. I've never measured, never looked into it, but I've always gone for fattier cuts of everything from day one and made sure to have that bone broth every day. And before I was putting butter in my coffee, I was putting coconut oil.
MCT or actually coconut oil?
No, actual coconut oil.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
out of all the things I've said and done on social media, the one thing that got me the most hate mail was posting a picture of a ribeye with the fat cut off. People lost their, you know what? They're like, what is that? I'm like, it's a ribeye. They're like, what happened to the fat?
Where's
I'm
the
like, well, I had
fat?
to cut it
Yeah.
off. They're like, you can't do that. That's a crime. You know, what are you doing? And then of course, I hear from the meat police, which apparently she actually watches these videos. She has her own channel because she actually thanked us for mentioning her. I don't know if you guys have seen Justin and I bicker back and forth with her from time to time.
Do you? You guys, if she ever posts a picture of my skin, I'm a 50-year-old woman and I have lost 150 pounds and I exercise and I fast. If she ever posts my whatever wrinkles, will you come and defend me, please?
Of course.
Police. I'm sure Tom will be all over that. So
oh yeah, I can't passively get fired. So yeah, that is in part is what inspired this videos. Like some of the stuff like somebody like her would say about people that we knew, or like posting a little tiny picture of their face or part of their face, or
she blows up. She takes like your worst fear as a woman who's, putting yourself out there, sharing your story, trying to help somebody, whatever. And then she just takes like your worst spot, your worst area, blows it up as big as you can. It's like, oh, and, that there is value and to some degree. And I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Cause I haven't blocked her, she's still on my thing. So.
Oh, me too. No, I haven't blocked her.
I keep her on cause I like seeing her cook up her occasional pigeon. That's what
or cutting the head off of something. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think she was eating an actual pigeon. So
it was a pigeon, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But she is an odd person. That's all I can say.
Right.
But very interesting.
Hey, man,
that's okay.
She has plus 10 to survival. Like in the apocalypse, she can
right?
travel.
No, right?
She's gonna be the one that makes it because she knows how to trap pigeons. Think about it.
I'm gonna give her some kudos. Yeah.
She's playing Fallout in real life.
Yeah, right.
So anyways.
No, I don't think she can knock on you, Emily, because you look well fed. So the people she attacks is the people who seem to undereat.
If I was a little leaner, wait a minute. Did you just say I look well fed? What'd you just say?
Yeah, you look great. You look.
Are you supposed to tell a woman? Are you supposed to tell a
well
lady
fed
that
is
she
a bad
looks
thing?
well-fed?
Oh my God.
She's got good haunches.
There you go. Thank you, Justin. That's
Oh no!
I wasn't gonna say it that way, but now that Justin said it, that's it.
If you leave the door open, Justin will walk through it.
I think you just heard that. I'm pretty sure you did. I am a well-fed,
I don't get
with
it.
nicely haunched woman.
I'm gonna have to look that up and see.
I think in the carnivore community, we're supposed to take that as you're super hot.
Right.
Yeah.
There.
I'm thinking.
That's it. You're just super hot. That's
absolutely.
As as that. Yes.
There's a whole subcategory
like
of hot haunchers. If you didn't know that. Anyways.
But as we were saying, body image, right? I mean, all body types are acceptable. I think honestly, again, I'll go back to say it's nice when people comment nice things, but people who have nothing nice to say, I have nothing to say to you. I don't even read your comments. And healthy is what the way is. At the end of the day, if a person feels healthy, if a person feels confident, and if a person feels attractive to themselves, like they feel like they're reaching their own personal goals, that's what matters. And that's what matters. Going to keep their headspace in the right place. That is going to have them just continue to not only feel well and be functional and feel strong and start performing beyond, but also inspiring other people instead of writing nasty things in the comments to just be well.
Right.
And really, most of us come to carnivore because we're like very broken. I know I was. Yeah. And so it's
and look at you now, Mr. Six-Pack Abs.
I mean,
He's just broken in a different way now.
Right. I'm broken in a different way now.
I mean, you see unicorns and stuff. So,
when you go I guess what people would call strict carnivore, I guess, I don't even know what that term means either. So
yeah.
What is it for you?
What is it for you?
I'm ribeye water only. No salt, no nothing, just ribeye water. So I guess that's strict. I don't know. Of course, Emily's got me beat on that. Emily Penton. She's doing raw. And she's beef only. So I'm like, yeah. She's got the crown on that one.
Yeah, once you mention you eat raw meat, everybody thinks you eat raw meat all the time, and I eat a mix. And so like people call me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm cooking, and they're like, I thought you ate everything raw. What's going on? So
yeah,
getting so weak. We had somebody in group say that he said, oh, I cheated because I ate my beef cooked. Did you see that, Raymond? Someone said that.
I did. I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah.
He's a raw carnivore. It's like, oh, I had a cheat meal.
Yeah, we have one that's actually attempting fully raw. He's giving us his whole journey. I was like, wow, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only with beef also?
Only with beef also. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of odd, but people seem to lean towards beef even on raw. So
yeah, I think it's the most readily available ruminant, right?
It's delicious.
Yeah.
There you go, Mandaleo. It's delicious. That's it. It's just, yeah,
It is.
I agree.
Can't
I
argue
agree.
with that one.
Yeah, it's just
I
delicious.
mix it up a lot. I do mix it up daily just because of what I can afford in this kosher world. But
Of
I
course.
mean, beef for me, it's always the best. I'm always like, oh yeah, give me some beef. And yeah,
I feel very fortunate that my family enjoys lots of different meats because I don't. But they enjoy pork, they like chicken. So I was making up a bunch of chicken wings, like, oh, I'll just try one. And I was like, ew, I can't believe my kids eat this. Why'd I eat that?
Well, I'll eat hot dogs sometimes, or
Mhm.
hamburger buns and hamburger patties, and I like oysters. So when I can get them, they've been hard to get lately. I don't know what the deal is, but I like
Oysters.
oysters too. And my buddy goes fishing. He'll bring it home, bluefin tuna, and I'll eat like
Mm.
a ridiculous amount. I'll eat like everything he gives me and as fast as I can. I'll eat like 5 pounds of tuna a day sometimes.
Mm.
Raw too. I mean, that's if you don't like bluefin tuna raw, send it to me because it's amazing. So yeah, so I eat mostly beef, but sometimes I'll put the sirloin tip steak I got was like mega lean. So I cut up a little pork sausage and cooked it with it. So even my dog won't eat it if it's too lean. My dog and I eat the same food. So, and I will put Brunschweiger on a steak too. It's fantastic. So
Mm.
if you've never had that, I love it. So
Hey, you mentioned seafood. Dr. Rimka was talking about seafood, how we should have much more seafood in our diet, something about methylation of the mind or something like that. You heard
She
about
kept
that,
on
Tom?
saying what? She kept on saying methylation.
No? What'd she say? Do you remember?
She kept on saying methylation. She kept on using this word called
Methylation.
methylation.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that was.
So yeah, methylation is just an ease of a process of your cells and the nutrients accessing the mitochondria.
That's what she had a lot of mitochondria talk.
She did
And
say
so
mitochondria.
the reason for that with seafood is probably because in our sea ape or water ape time, probably consuming like we're more adapted to consume seafood for the most part. I know there's people with allergies and things like that, but more adapt to consume seafood rather than even ruminant animals.
yeah,
From,
so there's
when we were what? We used to be fishes? Is that what you
can
said?
shall I
Mer
just
people.
Mer people.
Yeah, so there's two competing hypotheses on the major changes in evolution of modern human beings from the archaic human being pre-humans. And one is the Aquatic Ape Theory, and it talks about that it seems that human beings are actually quite good at diving in the water and catching fish or collecting clams and mussels and oysters and stuff like that. We could hold our breath at will. The other primates cannot, right? We lost our body hair. We have white sclera in our eyes. We walk upright, of course. We have a shoulder design for throwing, but it's also good for swimming.
We get pruny, which allows us to have friction underwater.
Yeah,
Actually
when your
hold on
skin
to a
prunes
spear
I
or
didn't
up.
know that's what the
something.
prune was for.
is
Yeah.
that why we're pruny? That's so
Yeah.
cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, so we can have friction underwater and grab and hold and use a spear and stuff like that. Yeah.
So the other competing theory is that we learned to walk upright. We have white sclera and all that because we hunted the savannas, right? That like we could stand up and look over the grass. We're really good sprinters, so we could sprint up an animal and throw a rock at it or a spear it or whatever, and then track it, if it doesn't die right away. And so those are competing theories. And to be honest with you, I think that they both contributed quite handedly to how we evolved. And I think if you look at the habituation sites, the places that early humans occupied for long periods of time, if they were near water, which a lot of them were, they ate what was in the water. but they also ate the land animals. I mean, we built our homes out of mammoth bones, right? We followed mammoths into northern Europe as the ice age set in, even though we clearly hadn't mastered fire yet. So there's such strong evidence for both, and that's why I think if you tolerate seafood, why not eat it? I don't see any. And
Oh no, I mean, I don't see any harm.
if I get fresh octopus, I'm gonna eat it, you know. So
yeah.
tuna, octopus, oysters, clams, mussels, you know, occasional shark, you know. I'm not big on some of the fish that's popular now, like tilapia and stuff like that. I never really cared for it, but
How are
if
you
you
not
like
bringing
it,
up
eat it.
shrimp and crab and lobster? Are those not like the-
Right.
Oh yeah. eat
I'm
shrimp.
like, as someone who keeps kosher, again, I can't have any of those things, but I only started keeping kosher a few years ago, so I remember. And those are
Lobster,
amazing.
especially lobster.
Lobster.
God, yeah.
Oh God,
I
it's
w-
so good.
Like
I
off
could
the first
sit down
bite,
and
yeah.
eat like 2 pounds of shrimp at a time.
I'd be like surf and turf every day.
Oh yeah.
If you weren't
Justin's
kosher, yeah.
Justin's come over and we cooked shrimp and lobster, or lobster and steak a couple times. didn't we? Yeah.
The
Beautiful.
best.
But I did try
Mhm.
oysters for the first time right before I started keeping kosher, and I miss it. I was just like, this is phenomenal. How did I waste so long? I had mussels and everything, like calamari, like you said, everything, but I had never had. And oysters were phenomenal. All of it, so good.
And
Raw
they say that we
olives.
don't have variety, huh?
Oysters
People say we
are-
lack
Right? How can
variety.
you? I know the animal kingdom has so much.
So
variety.
much variety.
Yeah,
Mhm.
penguin.
Turtle.
That's right. There's always the exotic. I have had turtle before, and let me
Yeah.
tell you, that is some good.
Ooh,
What
good.
is
In my
it taste
childhood, I had it. It was.
Is it like fish?
No, it's totally not fishy
Like
at all.
chicken?
No, not chicken. No,
Ooh, like
it is really good.
like
We had
calamari?
turtle soup. Nope, totally not.
Are you talking like a sea turtle or like a
A
tortoise?
sea
or-
turtle. A sea
Oh,
turtle.
okay.
Oh.
what does it
Yeah.
taste like? What's the texture?
It was very different than anything else I've tasted. So
Oh, I want to know.
definitely not like chicken. So it's more because it's very flavorful. It had very unique flavor. But I had it when I was a kid, and I remember it. I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever had.
Again,
Of course, we didn't get too many turtles.
we
We'd get, I was in Haiti, and then they'd go and get some, and then they'd bring it back to shore, and we'd get to put it in a pot and stew it. Oh, so good.
and that's another one of the things that we apparently ate a lot of were things like sea turtles, so apparently we've been hauling them on shore and eating them for a long time.
Probably. Yeah.
No, we can methylate them easily.
We can methylate them. That's it.
Apparently
That's
we
it.
can.
Actually, Dr. Rimka said something interesting. She was like, if you don't eat seafood too often, you something about the brain, like we get dumber.
Mm.
I was like,
So
really?
that might be
Well,
due
I
to
guess I'm gonna be-
iodine. So iodine content in
I don't know.
is higher in seafood because one of the plants with the highest iodine is kelp. And so a lot of the fish and whatnot, they eat the kelp. So very
Yeah.
similarly to getting the nutrient from, ruminant animals or animals that are on the ground, they eat the kelp, i.e. like turtle, right? They eat the kelp. And that is probably, if I had to take a guess as to why
I
there
think
would
sea
be a drop,
turtles
would be-
are predators, aren't they? You ever seen inside their mouth? It's all full
Well,
of.
they
they
have
eat-
a step. I swear they eat. I think there's different species.
Oh, I'm sure
I
there
think there
are.
are some that are.
I think
but-
freshwater turtles eat vegetation, but
What about like the snapper turtle? Isn't that
like
freshwater?
a loggerhead, that's
Yeah,
the
loggerhead.
swamp. I don't know. They're probably
I think all
predators.
turtle. I don't know.
I would think
Yeah,
so.
it's
Yeah,
well,
I don't know. I
worth
don't know
looking
how
up.
all that works.
Google
All we know,
it.
they're like omnivores. They can eat both. So
Don't worry, I'm going to spend a week researching this.
I
What
know.
about
right?
snails? Do y'all eat snails and
Yes.
what's it? Escargot. Escargot.
Yeah.
We
I've
gone
never
there
tried.
yet? Yeah, me neither. No.
I had it
It's-
one time.
It's not like oysters, although I thought it was at first. But no, I like it. It's not bad. I mean, well, I say I like it. It's so small. You're like,
Is it
okay.
like okra? What's the
Yeah.
texture?
The texture, it's just a little bit slimy. Yeah, a little
It's
bit like
like
okra.
a-
That's a good
Okra?
example. That's a good example. It's a little slimy
I
like
don't
that.
think
Yeah.
I'd like it.
Yeah.
When I had it, it was, when I had it,
I
it was
like
very
okra when it's like
garlicky.
really, really crispy. Like you gotta
Oh,
like.
you don't like that sliminess? That's the part I like about the okra when it gets slimy. Yeah. Yeah. No.
No.
Okay.
A vegetable I will never miss.
How much
Yeah.
okra you been eating, Ray?
None for a long time, but I used to cook with okra all the
Traditional.
time.
Well,
right.
you're in the South, right? You
Yeah, I'm
gotta-
in the South. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
I don't miss any of that stuff. So
yeah.
I just like, well, anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know I may be the dumb carnivore later on. I may turn caveman. So, you know,
If he would have ate his fish, he wouldn't be so
yeah,
dumb.
if I ate my fish,
It's
that's
because
right.
he didn't eat his fish. That's why he
Exactly.
got like that.
Well, you know, a lot of human populations developed along the coastlines, and certainly like 90% of early humans lived on the edge of
the
water,
coastline,
but
yeah.
not necessarily the sea. So it
Right.
makes sense that they would have eaten a lot of fish and a lot of crustaceans and stuff.
I
Are
can
any
see
of
that.
those shellfish kosher, Amanda?
No, fish
Oh.
are. Fish, the kosher rule for water animals is that they have to have fins and scales.
Oh,
So, and interestingly enough, it says that you will find fish that has fins, scales with no fins, but you'll never find a fish with no fins with scales ever. And there's yet to be one found. So that'll be interesting.
So you can't have shark because they don't have
No, never.
scales.
they don't have scales.
Exactly.
Interesting. Oh,
Yeah, you know, a lot of sharks aren't really edible. So there's only certain ones that, because a lot
They're
of them
not?
are really,
I
yeah,
thought
they
they
have
made shark fin soup or some crap like that.
they have a
Yeah.
lot of ammonia in them. So some of them
Oh.
taste really pungent. So we don't eat them. I'm sure some people do. They're used to it. But like, you know, in Iceland, they
Oh yeah, Iceland.
bury
Yeah.
them and they ferment them in the ground and then make them more pungent. So
Yeah.
This
damn
is so nasty.
Scandinavians.
We're gonna see if we can make this
Make it even more
smellier.
nastier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smellier.
Why not?
Let's bury it in the beach for a while. See what happens. Yeah.
Well, what I want to say about the seafood is that it's so much more culturally okay to eat it raw versus
Yes.
ruminants
Yes,
or
absolutely.
other,
Isn't that
especially
crazy?
in
Right.
Eastern
Yeah.
Asian. I mean, you know, you see them
Yeah.
cute little South Korean girls grabbing up those squid and just like, you know, going to town
Mhm.
with them,
Mhm.
you know.
Also traditional Jewish, like the fatty fish and raw, like, and herring, or like smoked and prepared in different ways. Yeah, and I once heard, I think it's Coach Kate, Health Coach Kate.
Health coach 8.
Yeah, I think she came up with the acronym I heard many years ago that I love, SMASH, and those are all kosher. It's for the fattiest fish. So salmon,
Salmon,
mackerel,
Mackerel,
anchovy,
anchovies,
um,
sardines.
sardines, and herring. Exactly.
A herring.
No,
Sorry, had
it's a red herring.
You know, I find it kind of funny, since we're talking about seafood. Have you guys noticed that people complain so much about ribeye, but yet they'll say, "Oh, you know, I'll have a salmon," and then you look at the price of salmon; it's like twice the price of a ribeye. And you're like, "Oh, I can't afford ribeyes," and then they're buying salmon, and I'm like, "Okay, that doesn't add up."
It's the same with the whole diet that includes like any fruits, any plant foods. They're so expensive. They waste so easily.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
we
Waste so
fool
easily, yeah.
ourselves to thinking meat is so expensive, but
Yes.
really you eat so much less. You know, I mean, in proportion, like because the carbs make you want to eat any of those
It does.
vegetables, and then you need more, and you eat them together, and then you have to cook them with this, and yeah, it's
Well, not to mention the
Way
time you
cheaper.
put into that. I mean, you know how little time I put in for cooking my ribeye? Next to nothing. Yeah.
and also
Yeah.
what Emily was saying, you can get so much stuff on sale and stock it in your freezer,
Yeah.
and then you're like, you don't even need to work. Yeah.
Don't even need to
You
go out and
just-
shop. Yeah, you
It's
just
so
got it there.
efficient. We don't have to go. We used to always, and we still do because we've got vegetable eaters in the house. But you know, it's just a regular thing. Once or twice a week, you have to go get more cucumbers. The cucumbers go bad. Get more red peppers. Red peppers go bad. You know, we have all these certain things that are just like traditionally just going bad consistently in the refrigerator. And it's like, no, I'm good. We have 1, 2, 3. We have like 4 freezers. And
Nice.
so Yeah, it's been super helpful. But it's a great feeling as a mom too, to be like, well, I know I've got a ton of stuff out there. If we got behind on figuring stuff out, we can just go grab some stuff and we're
And
good to go.
I was gonna make that dish, but I'm forgetting that one thing. So now
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh my
it's not gonna
gosh.
be the same. Or I
And the
need to
worst part,
improvise.
yeah, you have one ingredient missing. It's not the same dish. With meat, it's
Mhm.
like, hey, no such thing. As long as you got the meat, that's the important part.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And I mean, if you're in a hurry, you don't even have to cook it, you know?
Yeah.
Nope. And like you said, Tom, actually, even like in treats, I had hot dogs this summer, like when we were barbecue, like having campfires and stuff. And it was such a fun treat. It was like meat, but just like a different version. And like, or once in a while, I'll like fry up salami or get myself cold cuts to change it up, you know? And
Yeah.
that's my junk food.
Well,
Yes.
That's your junk food.
Or
That's
dairy.
right. I love that. you
Dairy
said
is
that.
junk food.
Oh, well, dairy.
Actually.
for sure.
Absolutely.
we
Yeah.
occasionally talk about like survival issues, like what food could you put away? Like the power goes out, you know, your freezer defrosts. What are you going to do? And I make a lot of jerky, but some people were debating
Guys.
about Spam and
No, I
Vienna
have the
sausages.
answer. If you can afford it, I just found it the other day. I'm freaking out. Like, can you freeze dry everything? You can literally
Oh, freeze dry. Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
freeze
well,
dry a
they
whole
get a-
roast.
Wait. How do you do that without a?
And
It's a special
Device.
freeze dryer,
you have
right?
to buy
Oh
a
yeah,
freeze
yeah. You
dryer.
do have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, okay.
But man, I don't know. Like you can even
You have
freeze
one?
dry bone broth. No, I just went to someone's house
Okay.
and saw it, and I was like, oh my god, they were doing a roast. I asked them about bone broth because you know that's my thing, and I was like, oh my god, if I could freeze it, turns into powder, and then all you do is add water after. I tried. They had like freeze dried. She was doing a roast when I was there, so I asked her all about that, and basically just sliced it. Oh god. That's everything. Then you make your own MREs. All you do is add
That's
water.
what I was thinking. It sounds like an MRE. Yeah.
Wait. So you could freeze dry the meat, and
then
then
you
once
package it,
Uh-huh.
and it stays good for 25 years.
That's amazing.
Package.
Now, what about
all
the
you do
fat?
is open it up and add water after, or let it even sit there and it will naturally rehydrate.
Yeah. What about the fat?
So fat apparently doesn't do as well, animal fat. So we're gonna have to try experiments, but that's basically what she's doing. But she's like, that is a little bit harder. But bone broth, she said, would go into powder. So I was like, okay, we're talking about. I mean, we'll
Hey,
see.
that's
You wouldn't
pretty good.
necessarily have the fattiest cuts, but you'd have constant meat. So
Right.
I have
Well, you
some
kinda
friends
need to
that
go
have
with
one of
fats.
those. Well, this family was so excited. They had a bunch of families over for coffee or something, and they had just gotten their freeze dryer magical machine or something, and they brought out freeze dried Skittles.
Oh my
God!
of all the things to preserve.
Well, what would happen if
know.
you didn't
I
freeze
thought
dry?
Skittles would last forever
Yeah,
anyway
right.
They would
by
last
itself.
forever. Why
I
are we doing
know.
Skittles?
Why
That's a
would you
good
wanna freeze
point.
dry
Like,
that?
why? Why? They will never go bad, no matter what
I
you
know.
Were they
It's how-
snorting their Skittles? Is that the
All
issue?
right.
They needed a little more
Snort the
directive ahead.
rainbow.
Yeah.
When
It's
you're
how
eating
sugar
sugar isn't
addicted we
fast
are
enough.
that we're gonna have this great preservation situation and we're gonna preserve sugar.
Sugar. I know. Of all the things. Wow.
times we're in, man. Oy.
I know.
The power's in our hands. And
Yeah.
yet,
Technology we can have freeze-dried Skittles. Man.
Yeah. And that's what you pick it for? Wow. Okay.
Well, I mentioned the survival food because somebody was talking about Spam and Vienna sausages. So I bought like all these different brands and we were trying them out. So
and
it seemed like the Vienna sausage arguably had the best ingredient profile. The low salt Spam's not too bad. I always thought Spam was too salty. So
what
then
about corned beef in a can? I used to love that before I was kosher.
I saw
Love
it on
it.
the shelf. It is, it's fairly expensive compared to these.
Okay, got
But
it.
a lot
Vienna
of
is
people said
cheap.
that's their favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom had some the other day. I was like, good for you. I'm jealous. I was like, it's been a while, although I used to eat it with beds of rice, but still, it's a good.
I tried it. I was curious about carnivore stuff that would, keep in my cupboards and stuff. And I would have to eat it over a bed of rice. It's a no
Spam
for me.
especially. Oh my God, that thing
No.
is so salty. You're like,
Yeah. So try the low sodium one. It's not so
oh,
bad.
there's such thing? I didn't know.
Yeah. In fact, I saw it. I was at Sam's Club and they had Vienna sausage by the case, and they had Spam by the case, and they had, I think that's an 8-pack actually of the low sodium. They had the low sodium stuff there. My friend was telling me the jalapeno one is the bomb, but I haven't yet to see it for sale. So, and yeah, if you want to take my
What do
carnivore card
the
for eating
Spam
healthy.
use? Yeah, Spam uses potato starch, I think, too. They have like some weird fillers in it. Meanwhile,
Could
Vienna
be.
is actually pure, right?
That was the argument, and I think it had like a perfect like fat to protein ratio or
Fat to
something.
protein ratio also.
I'll have to
Yeah.
go look. And they are convenient. It's that little can. And I was like, this would be a handy snack. Take it to work
Yeah.
with you or whatever. Take it hiking.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or just squirrel it away just in case society collapses.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, you never know when Brandon's actually going to win. So
Yeah.
Tom, can you play my video?
what's
Put
that?
it in the chat. Did you see the video I
The
put in the
meat
chat?
sandwich.
No, I
Yeah.
did not.
You
Are you
can play my
passing
video
notes in
before we
class, young
go.
man?
I'm passing notes in class.
So do you guys have any, just to turn it back on the topic, did you guys have any more comments about is this Ren and Stimpy?
Yes.
You want me to show it?
Yes, I do.
It's not going to get me
Mhm.
demonetized.
No, because it's only 18 seconds.
All right, queuing it up, kids. Is this Ren and Stimpy commenting on a body, the perfect body shape?
Sure. Let's just say
Okay.
that's what it is.
All right, here we go. Can you guys see it? Is it?
Yeah, I see it.
Does it have the sound?
I haven't. It's
He
doing it
hasn't
all the
played
way up.
yet. Oh, there we go.
Whenever I went carnivore, I thought of this guy. Oh, you can't hear it.
Oh, it's a sandwich with no bread. Oh, reject.
Well, he says they ask him what he wants because they adopt this prisoner. So they ask him what he wants for her sandwich, and he says meat. And then what do you want on the what do you want on the outside of the sandwich? Meat.
Meat.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
And then he also, if you want, they also pour him a glass of meat.
Did anybody else watch the TV series Preacher?
No.
There's a character in there, and he had a lot of damage to his face, so his dad would throw meat in a blender and give it to him because his mouth was all screwed up. Used to crack me up. I was like, he's a perfect carnivore. So, glass of meat, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of heard it there.
Yeah, well, it
What
What
opened.
would you
as
like?
soon-
You say it, Justin. How do you say it?
I don't think I could do Ren's voice.
Are we dating ourselves with Ren and Stimpy?
Oh, there we go.
Are we dating ourselves with Ren and Stimpy?
Oh, liquid meat.
Oh,
That's
what I'm
glass
talking
of
Oh
about.
wow,
meat.
was that liquid meat with Ren and Stimpy?
It was.
Wow.
liquid meat. I
That's
like
good.
Get him a glass of meat.
So when I went carnivore, and I
That's
still
tone broth,
lived,
guys.
I still lived with my
Yes, it
brother.
is. There you go. I love that.
He'd always say I was that guy that was like, "What do you want, meat? What do you want to drink, meat?" It's amazing. Yeah, that's been
Nice.
stuck with me ever since I went carnivore. That guy's my hero.
Speaking of body type and something that Tom said earlier, you said that you give your dog eats everything you eat. I do. I have the same thing with my dog, except for like if I have a good steak, like today with this ribeye, I'm not going to be giving my dog a piece of that. But generally, she eats everything I eat. But today, I actually, when I was walking her, someone was like, "Ooh, look, your dog's very fit." And I was like, "Look, speaking of body types," I was happy to get a compliment on my dog. Because when I first got her, she was very scrawny. She was very like bow-legged, scrawny little puppy. And now she's fit.
Your dog looked well fed. Did they have good, does it have good haunches?
She does.
Good haunches.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
good.
Yeah, my dog's was
I love her haunches.
my dog was some kind of street dog that I picked up at the used dog store, and she was pretty tiny when I got her, and then she was on regular dog food for quite a while before I went carnivore. But she's probably at least 15 years old now, and she still acts like a puppy. So
That's awesome.
she goes insane when I come home. She runs up and down the stairs and jumps up and down, runs in circles, and it's just very, very active 15-year-old dog. And she's running up the stairs right now. Come here. You want to be on camera? You want to be on camera? See if I can get her. Come here.
Now I'm trying to get mine too.
It's dog show time. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Wait, can't see.
So cute.
Oh, there we
Hi.
go. Yeah.
Who's that?
Her name's Trixie.
Hi, Trixie.
She's a rat terrier.
Oh, you know what? She looks like a Mooney.
What?
A little bit. Hold on.
oh, is this show and tell
Amanda's dog.
dogs?
Oh, you have your dog, Emily?
Oh,
carnivore dog.
I could go try to find her. I'll go see if I can find her. Justin, what, you gonna bring a snake over or
Oh
something?
my gosh. I know, right? Justin, where's your snake?
Where's
Well,
your show and
snakes are
tell?
carnivore. Bring any carnivore pet on.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah.
So she's a
that's
toy
okay.
fox terrier, I think. She's a California puppy, actually, even
Oh,
though
really?
I got her here in Toronto. Yeah, she was a rescue from California.
Oh,
Aw.
cool.
She's being shy at the moment for whatever
I
reason.
see.
Yeah.
I'll
Look
go
at
see if
that. It's
mine's
like she
available.
knows.
It's like,
She knows that we're looking at her.
She's like, it's like, Mom, you put your makeup on before you went on camera. Well, why don't you give me
What
some
about
money?
me? She's born
Yeah, right.
perfect. Yes.
So cute. Is she carnivore?
Yeah. But
I
when I
mean,
first
like,
got
no
her
dog
also,
food?
yeah. No, I
Mm.
don't give her dog food. I make her like what I've been making now is bone broth, and I take out all whatever meat is left and I make it for her and freeze it, and I give her
she eats
like
good.
all sorts of different things and some raw. I give her
Mm-hmm.
raw chicken necks every day.
Mm.
And she also eats some raw ground beef, like about once a week, a little bit here and there.
Oh.
Oh, who's that? Hi.
This is Lila. She's my
Lila, how
daughter's
cute.
dog. She's
Oh.
camera shy.
Yeah, like a Mooney.
Yeah, my dog's camera shy too. If I whip out the phone, I'm like, hey, let me take your picture. She runs every time.
She's the same.
Oh,
You're a
how
good girl.
cute.
Yeah.
Emily, is yours carnivore?
No, not yet.
food?
We're working on it. We're working on it. I share with her when I can. She's actually not my dog. She's my daughter's dog.
Right.
I
So
will-
you
That's
you
the
can't
goal.
change her diet.
I had a giant rat terrier, and he got a tumor.
Problems. She started, I guess it's very common with Chihuahuas. She started losing teeth.
Oh,
So that's not good.
that's not good.
Yeah.
No.
that's not good. Oh.
So
Right
it's-
around the time that I started learning about low carb, my dog Stumpy, who was a giant rat terrier, got a tumor on his face.
Oh my.
And when I had got it removed, and then when I was looking into it, that's caused by the dog food, right?
Yes.
There's
and
all this
vaccines.
research on that, and that's really when the light started going on for me. It's like, we are carnivores, as dogs are carnivores, and when there's weird things like when you buy bagged dog food or whatever, they don't even put the carbohydrate content on the package,
No.
right? It's like you don't even know how many carbs your dog's eating. They're probably all walking around all insulin resistant, right?
Oh God.
Absolutely, they are.
Right.
They are. And I just had the saddest experience, but it's kind of a good story because my aunt has vegan dogs. By the way, I also want to say I've learned a lot about vaccines and shots, and they're really bad for dogs as well because they have
Yes.
titers and Yeah, so that's a big problem too related to cancer. But my aunt's dog unfortunately just got cancer, and she wouldn't eat for a while. But my aunt's vegan, and so keeps her dogs vegan. So finally the dog, yeah, she finally gave the dog some meat, and the dog ate and started doing much better, and now is eating. But then the younger dog got really, really jealous and staged a protest, and basically wouldn't eat anything anymore either until it was fed meat. So now I
Awesome.
believe they both have meat in their diet.
So you're saying dogs like to eat meat? Huh?
Basically,
What do
yeah.
you know?
And it
Who
might be
would've
what
figured?
keeps them healthy.
Yeah, we read the last time we were, buying dog food, we got the one that had the most meat, the least carbs and whatever. And then the cats are after it too. So we're, slowly getting there, but I know that's where we need to get is the actual meat. Absolutely. It's just kind of the preparation and thinking ahead about it and everything and get it going. So
Well,
Tom,
I had asked a vet one time when I was learning about it, I was like, well, I read that, dogs should eat a maximum of 3% of calories from carbohydrates. And I'm like, what do you think? She's like, oh, I don't know, but that sounds awful low.
oh,
And
What?
then, yeah. And then, so I asked another vet and I was like, yeah, dogs are supposed to just eat meat. They don't walk around eating peas and carrots. And
I know,
corn
right?
And, alfalfa and, and so I'm like, that's why they get the plaque on their teeth and they wind up with,
Yes.
what do you call it when the heart valve doesn't close all the way? They get a murmur,
endocarditis and
because that's the plaque on their teeth, that bacteria growing in it winds up on the heart valve. Happens to human beings too, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So anyways, I was surprised these vets that I've known for quite a while, done business with for quite a while, very nice people, very caring people. They really had no idea about nutrition for
Yeah.
dogs. And it's the same story
crazy.
with
Just like
with
humans.
people, right?
I know.
It's like I think doctors get an average of like 19 hours of nutrition training.
Yeah.
Bad training.
And they're also
Bad
afraid
nutrition
of
training.
dogs having raw meat too, which is
Yes.
so weird. Which
The
is so
veterinarian,
weird.
yes.
And you would never, a
It's
dog
like,
doesn't know how to
when,
cook.
when did
So-
a dog know how to cook, right?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
think they're
like-
gonna
Right.
like
No,
strike a
you
stick or
can't
something
give
and
them
fire?
raw food. You can't.
Right.
Oh no.
I was talking to a vet about that, and I guess apparently one of the issues is people, wind up giving their dogs crappy cuts of meat that are contaminated, and then they get sick. Right?
That makes sense.
It's not
Like
like they're
they're
eating a
toxic.
freshly
Yeah.
killed animal, right?
Right.
Right.
And in theory, and I think that I'm actually more careful about the meat I feed my dog than myself, because human stomach acid is way more
It's a lot
powerful
stronger than the
dog.
dogs. Yeah.
Dog's pretty powerful, right? So I wouldn't feed my dog anything I wouldn't eat first. And then there's a few things I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's been in the fridge a while. Maybe I won't give it to her.
Yeah. Absolutely. My
Well-
dog won't eat the bone, like unless I freeze the food, like if it's even 2 days, she won't touch it. Like she's very particular and has
Oh,
let me know if she can manage eggs and can't or things like that. So
right.
absolutely.
One thing I noticed with dogs, they do much better with lean meats. They're
Yes.
not like human beings where we like fatty meats.
Yeah, my dog won't eat chunks of fat half the time. But at
Yeah.
the same time, she won't eat a piece of meat that's really, really lean by itself. So
Oh, okay.
got to have a
okay.
little bit of fat.
A little bit of
or
fat.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what though,
yeah.
to give credit to a vet, it's actually because of a vet that I got her more onto it and felt more comfortable, because she had an injury and he was like, oh, you need to get her some, I think it was like collagen pills. And I'm like, I have to go and buy her collagen pills. I make bone broth
Right.
every single day. And I've been giving her some. Is that okay if I just continue and make sure to, he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, okay, done. So from then on, I was like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
that's what I'm going to use to hurt her injury, then, what am I doing? Not just giving her only that. And that's when I just,
Right.
stopped. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sure
if you
she loved
feel-
it too, right?
Oh, she loves food. Like she will never say no to meat, but you try and give her a treat. People are like, can I give her a treat? And they try some random, she won't touch it unless it's
Oh,
plain
wow.
meat. She won't bother.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh no, my dog would steal a hamburger out of somebody's hand in a hot second. The whole thing. Be gone. But my dogs are bad about it. Rat terriers are very agile, and my Stumpy was a giant rat terrier, so he had he was amazingly nimble and could jump really high. And if my friends are around with their kids or something, if they handed him something to eat, I had to watch out because Stubby would come flying through the air and just snatch it out of the kid's hand every time.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then one time, Trixie, she ran all the way. She was watching when somebody make a sandwich. They turned around to get a drink out of the refrigerator, left the sandwich on the kitchen table, and she ran through the house, jumped on the table, snatched all the meat out of the sandwich and kept on going and just ran until she was done eating it. So
Protected.
they're conniving little thieves. So
Tom,
anyway,
what
never
was the topic?
eat-
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what
Oh,
was the topic of this?
I don't know how we got onto dogs, but
No, I was just curious.
All
What were
the
you saying,
carnivore
Justin?
things all the time. That's our
All the
topics.
carnivore things all the time. Okay.
Yes.
did you guys, should I show them the photos that we started with since they came in late? So they
Yeah.
got some idea.
Sure,
Yeah,
but I
I'm
have to
curious.
say I have a ribeye waiting for me and some chicken that's just been cooked. So I might have to slip away soon.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
you
Heck yeah, don't let us hold you up on the ribeye now, especially you
I
have a
know that's the
ribeye.
thing. I'm
God.
like, I think it's time to cook it. It's 10 p.m. my time, so it's
yeah.
definitely
Oh,
time for my
man.
meal.
Yep.
I'm
right.
intermittent fasting though, so it's been so much fun though. Thanks so much.
It's good to see you
Good to
again.
see you,
Hopefully
Amanda.
Yeah, great to
get
see
you
you,
on
Amanda.
more.
There. Wow.
You too, all of you. Feel fab.
Yes.
All right. Be fiber free.
I was just gonna say you never eat alone when you're carnivore. If you got
Right?
animals.
And my puppy, yes.
That's it. That's right.
That's
So
right.
awesome.
So I'm going to show them the photos we started with just to kind of circle back and clicking and sharing. So anyways, we're talking about body
Oh
types.
my goodness. Oh, that's so
Oh, cute.
This is one of the youngest weightlifters. She's all of 7.
She's the cutest thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's pretty adorable, right?
Yes.
All
yes.
right. So, you know, we kind of wanted to address some of the negative comments we've seen in social media about body types, what people are supposed to look like. You know, if you're a carnivore and it's superior, how come everybody isn't all, you know, thin as a rail and, you know, whatever, you know, looks like an Instagram model. So anyway,
Gotcha.
start off with the youth here, but never too
Mhm.
young to start lifting. And then
Oh yeah, the grandma. Yeah,
Oh, I
See,
love
I've seen her. She's 80 years old. Yeah.
she's
I
80 years
love
old and
her.
lifts, you know, and arguably very fit looking. I don't know if, you know, everybody, I'm sure if people still pick on her, even at 80, they're probably
Oh,
saying she doesn't
I
look
hope
good
not.
enough, right?
Right.
Yep. Yep.
So
Very
then
good.
I asked a question. I mean, if you saw
Who's
this
that?
guy's face, because a lot of people get picked on social media just out of a face picture. I mean,
Right.
what would you say? Would you expect this guy to be one of the world's top athletes?
I mean, yeah, but well, I don't know. He looks like he's probably one of the strongmen.
He is. He's Brian
Yeah,
Shaw.
of course. Right. Best Brian Shaw. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
he's a big boy there, but he doesn't always look that way. And that's another thing, you know, a lot of times athletes go through different periods.
Yes.
Well, yeah, there's the bulk.
Fantastic.
There's the bulk and cut. Yeah.
The
So
bulk in the cut. Yeah.
there he is looking leaner. He got leaner towards the end, you know, just he'd probably reach that point where he's as strong as he's going to be. And he's still, you know,
Yeah,
amazing.
we would think so. It
Yeah,
doesn't look
right.
like that's going to be able to get much stronger.
Right.
Yeah.
that's
And he's
beautiful.
like 400 pounds in this picture. He's a
Yeah.
giant.
Oh
man.
man,
Okay.
muscle.
And if you saw this guy, I mean, what would you think?
Is that Jack? Is that
Looks-
Zach Bitter?
It is Zach Bitter, but if you
Oh,
didn't
it
know it was Zach Bitter,
is.
would you expect him to be a world-class athlete?
No, he doesn't look healthy.
No,
So
he
his
doesn't.
face doesn't look healthy.
He doesn't actually.
But
But
the
he is
thing
an
is,
ultra runner, so yeah.
he's an ultra marathoner, and that
Yeah.
you got to be extremely lean, right? You
Yes.
see the same thing with cyclists, you know,
to get that performance for it.
Right.
That's what his environment's telling his body over and over, that your body needs to
Yeah.
look like this.
Look how
Yeah.
small his arms is. I mean, everything has to be small
Oh
for him.
yeah. And I'll tell you, Zach is one of the nicest people I ever interviewed. He's a really nice guy.
Well, he trains the dietitian friend, right? That's a runner. What's
Yeah,
her name?
Michelle Hearn.
That's her trainer, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, in fact, I talked to him one time about upper body strength training, and he's like, "Yeah, I do a little bit." He's like, "But he's trying to keep his upper body as small as possible." Unlike
Sure.
Brian Shaw, who's literally pulling a ship, right?
Unbelievable.
And of course, he did that like nobody other, because even the other strongmen aren't quite as big as he is. So the mass was on his side when he did this for TV. But anyways, and then you guys
Does he eat meat? I just gotta ask.
Yeah, well, and I should talk about that because guys like Brian Shaw cannot eat enough meat to get enough calories.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
So and Zach too, like Zach eats meat most of the
Right.
time, he was saying, but sometimes during races he will take carbohydrates to
Right.
fuel.
Just for the
while he's
races.
running.
Yeah, Michelle does that too. I think she got it from him.
Yeah. And this is Maureen Hamrick, she's a well-known.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's a well-known keto personality, but again, a marathon runner, right?
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. That explains a lot.
That explains why she looks so lean.
I wish I had known that. Like,
yeah, I know.
Right.
I always thought she was too lean.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense
when,
well, that's why I brought it up, because not only that, we talked about this earlier, but a lot of people, they came to Carnivore with problems. We know people who couldn't put on weight before, they were malnourished and they're desperate to do anything. We know people that with anorexia and bulimia that would have trouble controlling that. And then we know people that were overeaters, spent decades in 12-step programs struggling with it, and then came to Carnivore and did a lot better. So I'd like to point out that with all those all those keyboard warriors out there and talking heads, making comments about people they don't know,
yes.
There's a lot people should probably restrain themselves from saying if they don't know the person's history, right?
Good point. Yep.
That was the crux of the video. I'm glad we got into the other stuff.
Sorry I missed that. Thank you for the retelling. I appreciate that. That's great. Yeah Perfect.
So anyways, I guess we'll wrap it up, huh?
Yes,
absolutely.
It was a good chat though.
Well, thank everybody for watching, and make sure you're subscribed. Go ahead and tenderize that like button on the way out, and leave us some comments. Let us know what you think the ideal body type is, and what
well fed with haunches.
Well fed with good
haunches. That's right.
I'm pretty sure I qualify.
That's right.
That's what I say. That's my body shape. So I'm going to say that's the ideal.
So until next time, I want everybody out there to eat some meat, feel better, and whatever you do, don't fall down the carb hole.